There it is. There it is. There it is. Figured I had the time to jump on live. Let me show you this is live. Because I can do that, right? Figured I had the time to jump on live. Polo fam. Modulus tautology. AKA Chucky Biblical. But we'll get back more into that moniker later on. I figured I'd jump on live just to, touch bases with everybody. Shout out to my man Jim Jam, who gave me a heart on breaking down the fundamental definition of John, Jawn, that classic word that only Philadelphians really, know about, because we created that, you know what I'm saying? And another shout out to my man DeWitt, because he gave me a like on that same post. Me and DeWitt went to high school together, and I still remember me, DeWitt, Chris, Roosevelt, and Khalil. That was my lunchroom crew. We used to eat lunch together. I mean, really, my whole 4 years there, pretty much. Even if I didn't have that block of lunch period, you know what I'm saying? I might have snuck down or whatever, depending on the mood of the day or whatever, And there it is. There it is in a nutshell. I won't say any more than that. Y'all know the high school and how it is. And, those that have went through high school and, the goal is to graduate. So make sure, this high school student, put your head in the books. Yeah, I mean, that's what's most important. You know what I mean? We want y'all to all graduate. That high school diploma is a must, right? Well, hold on. What my man Run DMC? DMC said, I'm DMC. Yo, I'm DMC in the place to be. I went to St. John's University, and since kindergarten I applied the knowledge. And after 12th grade, I went straight to college. I'm light skinned, right? That's the classic Run DMC, sucker MCs. You don't want to be a sucker MC was the moral to the story. And that album actually came out in 1984, which is ironic within itself, because what I've been doing is putting 1984 as the date when I forgot his name already, right? Because I'm jumping around. There's a book created by the same author of Animal Farm, and that's where I'm kind of jumping around. And we talk about that book all the time as being one of the dysphorias of predicting the future. And it was written back in the 1950s, but 1984. And say his name in the comment section. It really doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? I've said his name before, but I'm really trying to move forward from that, and just using that as a, right now we're trying to predict our future, and it was kind of already predicted for us with such, movies and books and TV shows like Star Trek. Like Buck Rogers in the 25th century, right? Buck Rogers, allegedly black in the 80s, or he flew up in the space shuttle, got frozen, and they defrost him in another 500 years or something like that. Whereas Star Trek, Dr. I can't remember his name. He's about to rebuild he's about to use the parts of an old rocket ship, blast into outer space, and use the twin turbine engines to fly faster than the speed of light. Kind of a thing to go out to where Pluto, which is no longer a planet, they say, because of the size of Pluto, doesn't fit the fundamental definition of what a planet is. Even though we do know it's a big rock orbiting the sun. Thus, back in the day, back in the 60s, we used to say 9 planets. but there's actually like 13 or 14 rocks big enough to be planets. Like Pluto was one of them, even though they, since corrected that saying Pluto is not big enough, and people still want to debate, is it 9 planets or is it 12, 13 planets orbiting our sun? As the sun orbits a black hole. Now we're getting kind of technical in how the makeup of the Milky Way universe or the Milky Way galaxy that we are a part of is. And that becomes the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars. You see, Star Wars actually happened a long, long time ago on a planet, in a galaxy far, far away. So it's not even, we don't even know what galaxy Star Wars happened in. Hence, since Einstein's theory, time, the relativity of time, how does that match up to what our time is? And what does it have to do with our timeline? And thus, all of the different universes of the MCU. Now, if that didn't confuse you and bust your bubble, you know what I mean? Everything I'm talking about is like, what is he rapping about? I'm rapping about seeing. We went to go see Spider-Man. Me and my son, we went to go see Spider-Man yesterday, and yeah, it's a good movie, yo. Spider-Man is actually a good movie. Let me do this. Let me do this. This is so that we live, right? Because I can change the beat up a little bit. Let me do this. Let me hit this button and then do my cut. Live. So that, in the future, my plan is to put my own sounds in this and come up with original beats. And then that way it can, right now I'm still running the demos. My eyesight is still not that good. So I couldn't really see the movie like I wanted to, or watch the movie like I wanted to. I'm better at LCD screens because they're backlit. So backlit, even my phone, I can see better than I could a projection screen. So I really couldn't see. I could see Spider-Man. I knew it was Spider-Man, but I couldn't see the Punisher, for example, right? So, but as soon as Spider-Man said Frank, I was like, is that Punisher? I turned to my son and was like, is that Punisher? And he was like, yep. And I was like, the Punisher's in it. So they had some real good cameos in it. And that's all of the spoilers that I would say, right? There's that the Punisher's in it and the Hulk is in it. Like, I'll say those two. And anybody else, I got to go see the movie. Go check this movie out. We went to go see it in 4DX. So I was more enjoying the ride. Like, the chair gets to moving, it spits water on you, lightning bolts, and all types of craziness. So whenever Spider-Man was getting beat up, because Spider-Man gets beat up in this movie, whenever they whooped his butt, we took a whooping. So I was along for the laughing with the children as we got thrown around in these chairs, these 4DX chairs. This thing is really a good experience. It's not as good as it's not as great as an experience as, say, one of the rides at Disney World, which we have done before. Especially Soarin' is one of my all-time favorite rides, where you ride in this mechanical chair and you fly over, all of the nations of the world. You even fly over Africa, you fly over the Great Wall of China, Japan, et cetera, et cetera. And it's one of the best rides in the park. Another good one is, I don't know if they still have it. It was when we fly into outer space. That's an intense ride where you fly into orbit. There's 2 versions of the ride. We rode in both of them with NASA. One of them you fly, you go into orbit, and then that one was more intense. You fly into orbit, and then you fly to Mars, and you land on Mars. And then the other one is closer to Soarin', where you fly into orbit, so it's not as intense of a ride. And then you just fly around the orbit of the Earth, kind of a thing, which was a good experience too, and land. But that one where you go fly into outer space, woo, it kind of messed Volo's chest up. And I think I'm too old to get on that ride again. Let me just put it that way. So there it is in a nutshell. Just breaking down some of the things that's going on, and um, I titled this one "The Hobbyist" because I'm still, like I mentioned, Jim Jan gave me a heart, and he talked about what hobbies should be picking up, and nothing better than picking up a good book. You know what I mean? So I know that children really aren't pushed to read, say, Gulliver's Travels, for example, which is a great book to read, but I haven't read that book in, 40, 50 years, One that I mentioned to my son is Lord of the Flies. I never mentioned, I read Lord of the Flies back in high school, and I can't remember it. I remember them making a movie, but that would be a very, very good movie. I know they made it into a movie, just like they did Harry Potter. Like Harry Potter's is very good movies. I never really read the books. So I'm trying to get back into, say, reading books. So I'm that's on one of my bucket lists is to actually read the Harry Potters and see if J.K. Rowling's actually know what she's talking about. You know what I mean? Because I enjoyed the movies. It's one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. You know what I mean? Harry Potter is. So I want to read the books as well, and then I want to get into it, and recognize J.K. Rowling's for writing the original books. Because and that's what I was telling Jim Jam. Like, read a book and then put it into your book. Like, building libraries is what I want to do, and that's why I'm really trying to fight to get my eyesight back, where I can open up a book with a good, like I do. I am going to need some good glasses eventually, and I'm still healing. I'm still putting steroids in my eye. I can see, quote unquote, where it's getting stronger. But I still got this gray bubble or something in my eye where everything is extra, extra dark still. It's a very unique situation to go through. I wouldn't wish this upon anyone, even my quote unquote enemy. But this is why health, wealth, and knowledge itself is very, very, very important. Especially that health, make sure we eating right, making sure we exercising. Diet and exercise is very important to that. And yes, diet can be split into two thoughts of being, whether it's the food intake, and what type of foods you're eating. You know what I mean? Watching the carbs, watching the GMOs. What was the? I'm trying to remember the latest thing that they was spitting. That what was a big thing. It'll hit me later on. Because it became a big thing about 6 years ago during COVID. And COVID causing blood clots and all types of stuff like that. I mean, like, these are all the things. These are all the things that doctors and chemists and everything is supposed to be bringing to the light, so that we can live healthier lives. Like, that was the motto when I worked for a lot of these pharmacies. Being the manager was helping people live healthier lives. And I, as a manager, I believe that. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be here to help you live a healthier and more prosperous life. And that's me starting at CVS back in 1996. You know what I mean? When they was a small little company, and they was all about family values. And now that I think they're number one, pharmacy corporation, is I can see where the corporate greed took them over, and that got lost in it, and them fighting the Rite Aids, the Walgreens, the Eckerts, the et cetera, it really wasn't about trying to get destroy the other store. Like, it was more about friendly competition. And I found myself in that, me being a manager for the different companies, going to the other stores, or whoever the competition was, and trying to, hey, let's do a community softball game, my store versus your store kind of a thing. And those are the things that got hidden in all of this corporate greed that we have going on right now. And this is me just coming heart to heart, being real with you, and that's why I can't go back. I'm still going to be, quote unquote, part of the reunionization of America. And no, they're not my enemy, right? It's all about my team versus your team, and let's getting together and having a friendly game of baseball, softball, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? That's true American knowledge right there. You know what I mean? Now, if y'all understand that wisdom or not, it's up to you. But I just feel as though I had to come pour that into the quote unquote manosphere, because they trying to say we all toxic, evil. We don't care about the women, and the women don't care about us. All this misogyny and misandry, and you know what I mean? And it's all about what y'all know. As soon as you say the Obamas, I do got Obama fatigue. Both of them. You know what I'm saying? I wish both of them would shut up. Stop wasting my time. I'm not voting for the Democrats. They not offering me anything. Who cares about the Republicans? We're a constitutional republic of democracy and liberty. Now, what is the fundamental definition of liberty? That's us fighting to be free. There it is. There it is. So that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to come on real quick, be live for a minute, speak on how much I love. But I love God more. That's why I sipped the tea when you didn't want to take that lesson. Cool, I'm the scholar, right? That's what Volothan modulus tautology is. He's a high level arcanist, right? I'm not your enemy, right? I'm pulling out the book. I'm casting all types of crazy spells. You know what I'm saying? That high level, going back to Final Fantasy. Started off with the ogre battle, but the origin is Ultima 4. I'm trying to tell you. That was the quest of the Avatar, and I'm going back to my 8 virtues. What are the 8 virtues? They're based upon 3 key principles. That's truth, love, and courage. And more lessons will come in your way. I know. Anger, or should I say, fear turns to anger. Anger turns to hatred. Hatred turns to wrath. And then you get to suffering. Or as Master Yoda was teaching a young Anakin, right? A long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. See how it works, right? That's right. Practice is the mother of skill. Repetition is the father of time. I have to do it again, right? Motherhood. We are experiencing a motherhood of humanity and a fatherhood of God. Let's flip it up a little bit. Let's flip it up a little bit. Let me see how I do this. I got to do this. I got to click here, click there, and then hit that. And then this should do this right here, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. So we had Rakim number 1, and that's what I be. He's not doing it. I thought I did it. Hit that like button, subscribe and share. You know what I mean? Oh, that was it. That button. All right, let's see it do it now. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Like I say, I started with 1984. Why can't I remember this author's name? Oh well, whatever his name is. I'll look it up later. And then 1987. That's when Eric B. and Rakim came together and made Paid in Full, right? And that's when he said, knowledge will begin until I finish this song, because the rhyme gets rougher as the rhyme goes on. You sweat as you step, about to get hype, Or should you just listen to the man on the mic? You're physically here with me, but how could you tell if it's meant to be hip-hop if you're not mentally as well? Well. One God, our Father all the time, hip-hop life. One love. Happy just to have just one love. As God is love, hip-hop is life. Time, yo, respect that. Money, nothing more than the fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. You see, you lose your money, you lose nothing. You lose your health, yes, you lose something. You lose your character, you lose everything, yo. So this is Volotherm, modulus tautology. We'll get over the meanings of my name again. You know what I mean? Tautology meaning the truth. The truth is this. I wish harmony and happiness for you all. Peace.